Right now, I'm struggling with an addiction I've had almost my entire life. But to start, I have to take you back to when I was just a wee little lad. I was probably about two or three, when my dear old mom, started giving me coffee, which I know is an incredibly young age to be giving coffee, but it's just a thing in my family. And thus started very early my addiction to caffeine. To give a little rundown of my history with caffeine, like I said, my mom would give me coffee at a young age, but it wasn't anything significant. It's not like she was like doping me up with like 300 milligrams of caffeine as like a 2-year-old. She'd just drip a couple drops of coffee into a glass of milk for me to make me think that I was, special for getting coffee in my mug. But, as I grew up, I slowly started drinking more and more coffee. And, it was probably 5th, 6th grade, and I was drinking, a whole cup. And then as I started to get even older, 7th, 8th grade, high school, I was probably drinking a good solid cup of coffee a day. And this is not like completely out of the ordinary, still pretty standard in my opinion. But what really got me was in high school when I discovered energy drinks. Oh boy, let me tell you. So I think the first energy drink I ever had was a Red Bull. And I absolutely despise Red Bull now. So I'm not sure why I liked them then, but I hate them now. I hate Red Bulls so much. But anyway, I used to be in drama club. So we had a show and I was pretty sleepy the day of the show. So I was like, I need some caffeine. Coffee's not going to do it though. I need something more potent than that. And I went to the store next to the school and I got myself a Red Bull. And thus began my addiction to energy drinks. Hey, really quickly, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and prove to YouTube that long form content can still thrive on the platform. So if you could, it'd truly mean the world to me. Thank you. So after that, I've branched away from Red Bull and I started to indulge in C4. And I drink C4 before like a track practice every once in a while. And I was like, dude, I feel like the freaking Flash, dude. Like C4, I don't know if you've ever had C4, but some energy drinks are like, just like a stimulant for your brain. But like C4 is like a legitimate pre-workout and it straight up makes you like itchy. So I was like freaking bugging out at track practice on these C4s. Honestly, at that point, I was awful at track. I was pretty much obese from freshman year to halfway through my sophomore year. So it's not like it was doing much, but it was just kind of fun. So I'd have an energy drink from time to time, my freshman year of high school, and nothing really came of it. I just had one every once in a while, maybe before a meet. But then in my sophomore year of high school, I started taking weightlifting and getting in shape a lot more seriously. I began going to the gym more often and getting in shape. And very quickly, I started a reliance on caffeine. Usually pre-workout. I'd bum some pre-workout from my friends because I didn't have a car to go to a gas station. So I'd bum some pre-workout from a friend. Oh boy, I got some ops. And then using pre-workout, man, like that was like C4, but like even worse. So I'd be bugging out on C4, itching all over the place, but it helped the workouts. I mean, at first, like this pre-workout stuff was like, it felt like it was making me stronger, like I could last longer in the gym, put up better weights. It was really helping, or at least I thought it was. And so I just kept going. I eventually got myself my own pre-workout. I was taking it. And this was all over the summer, I think. It got to the point where like I had to do a scoop and a half to feel anything because eventually it just wears off and you're not feeling much anymore. And so school started back up, and that year, I think it was my junior year in high school, I was working at my school's coffee shop. So we had this coffee shop that would be open like half of the day, like during the morning, so students can get some coffee. And I got to work at this coffee shop, right? So naturally, I love coffee. I've loved coffee since I was like a 2-year-old. So I'd make myself a good old double shot of espresso during the school day, and I'd enjoy that. And then I'd go on with my day. But then I'd go to the gym, and then before the gym, I had to get some pre-workout or an energy drink. So during my junior year of high school, I was consuming a large cup of coffee in the morning, probably equivalent to about 2.5 cups. My cup is massive. Then I'd go to school. I'd have a double shot of espresso at probably like 9 a.m. And then I'd get off school. I'd go to a gas station and get an energy drink, which was probably about another 300 milligrams of caffeine. So I was having approximately 700 milligrams of caffeine a day. And let me tell you, it was not good. My blood pressure got pretty high, which is not good. Do not recommend high blood pressure. And I really started to get brain fog because I take all this caffeine, and then it got to the point where I didn't feel anything when I took caffeine. Honestly, I feel like I could drink caffeine at like 8 p.m. and then go to sleep at 9 p.m. Like, I know that's like, the sleep is probably terrible quality, but like that's how little effect that it had on me at this point. And I shit you not, coffee legitimately made me tired. I'd drink coffee and I'd get sleepy. And I've heard of this before, but like I'd straight up have to take a nap if I drank coffee after 9 a.m., which is just absurd. So obviously I recognize that this was a bit of a problem, that I physically couldn't function without caffeine, and I needed to do something about it because it was affecting my day-to-day life. So I decided to do it was summertime. I had a surgery, and I figured, you know what, I'm not going to be able to lift after my surgery for, a good month or two. So I figured might as well just do a caffeine detox. So I stopped caffeine, and it was tough, man. Let me tell you, that first detox, I was struggling. I was straight up like withdrawals. It was bad, but eventually I got over it and it was fine. And then I started drinking caffeine again, and it just once again became a bit of this cycle in which I'd stop drinking caffeine for, a good week or two, and then I'd just pick it right back up. And here I am again. So I just started another detox, and it's not going terribly. I haven't had an energy drink in 2 or 3 days, and I haven't really wanted one. And I still drink coffee in the morning. I'll do a small cup of coffee in the morning, just because I don't know if I'd physically be able to function without my coffee in the morning, just because I've been drinking it for so long. I'm too scared to even try. But I've just been sticking to 1 cup of coffee a day and no energy drinks. And like I said, it's been going okay. I can't say it's been going fantastic. I'm not like having withdrawals or anything like that, but I honestly need to. My brain fog has been pretty rough recently. I feel like I'm just haven't been as present. I think that's because of my caffeine crashes. But it gets to the point where you're just like, man, I have to go to a function, like a social function, and I'm just like, I can't go unless I get caffeine in me. If I don't get an energy drink, I'm just going to be a mess. I'm not going to be able to function. So it's definitely an addiction, and I can't say that I, want that to be the case for my entire life. So maybe I highly doubt that I'll completely stop drinking energy drinks after this detox. It'll probably just be another week or two, because, you come back from a detox and you can feel the effects of caffeine again, which is nice, especially when you're in the gym, because it's nice to feel like you get a caffeine buzz, and it does help with the workout. So it's nice to have that again after the detox. But yeah, I probably should just stick off of caffeine for now, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated with how that goes. But then one thing I do really like about caffeine is, like I said before, I do have some ADHD, and typically the stereotype of caffeine is that if you give it to somebody with ADHD, they're all over the place, they're bouncing off the walls and whatnot. But honestly, caffeine really lets me focus, especially energy drinks. Coffee is the opposite for some reason. If I drink coffee, I can't focus worth shit. But if someone gives me, if I get an energy drink, if I get a White Monster during the day, my focus is 2x, which is really nice. And I think that's just because ADHD really makes your brain super scattered like you're all over the place. But there's some of the chemicals in there that you know, just help you be more like dialed in, which is nice. But that's okay. We'll just deal without it for now, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I guess that's like basically just the rundown of my quote unquote caffeine addiction. Basically, it's been going on for a long time, and it's had its ups and downs. It's had its waves. Is it all my mom's fault? No, it's not. That's just a joke. It's not her fault. And it's not even really a bad addiction. It's not like I'm completely and utterly fiending for the caffeine every day. It's just something I like every once in a while. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but I think that's about all I have for you all today. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. See ya.